Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are y'all doing tonight? I wanted to share a little bit about my dispositions as an educator. As an educator, I make sure my personality, my relationships with others, and my classroom environment are friendly, warm, and caring. I make sure that I support my colleagues and my students in all areas, especially socially and mentally. It's extremely important. I take the time to get to know my students and help them to believe they can learn. I help my students set goals and expectations so they can succeed in the classroom. I always want to make them feel comfortable in their classroom and let them know that I care about them. I want them to know that I love everything about them and that I know that everyone is unique and special in their own way. I make sure my students and coworkers know I will embrace and love their differences and their diversities. Now, as an educator, there are areas that we always want to improve. Personally, I try really hard to reach out to the community, but I think as an educator, I could do more, and that's my goal this year. As an educator, I understand how important it is to get to know the families in our community. I spend time at least twice a school year where we reach out and go into the community to visit and support. But I want to do more. I want to do it more often and in more ways. I know right now it's extremely difficult, but it also is extremely important. When we work together as parents, students, and educators, we form a phenomenal team. I feel now more than ever that our communities need us, and support must be given to make sure that our students are getting the educational foundation they need. As an educator, there's a lot of dispositions that we have. There's a lot of areas that we could grow. There's a lot of areas that we are successful in. But ultimately, professional educators should dress professionally, make choices that support professionalism. I feel that what they do and say should support all learning. Educators take the time to ensure their words, action, and choices are ethical, and that they should always make sure that they support the integrity of education. Educators are constantly thinking about what to do and what to say. They make sure that they're committed to teaching and learning. I always want to be committed on a professional and a personal level, and want to make sure as an educator that I'm doing everything I can to make sure that my students are succeeding and that my coworkers and I together are succeeding as a group of educators. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn a little bit about how I feel as an educator and my stance on the dispositions. Being an educator is something I've always wanted to do. It's something I've always dreamed of doing. Having my educational degree and spending time in kindergarten first and now third grade has just truly filled my heart with joy. I hope as I gain my master's in reading that I'm able to support my students in the areas of reading and continue to grow as an educator. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful evening.